Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia, two terms that have just been trademarked for Pokemon TCG by the Pokemon Company. This is absolutely massive news for the Pokemon community, as it essentially confirms that not only will we be getting Mega Evolutions in the TCG, but we will 100% be seeing new Megas in Pokemon Legends ZA as well. Before we get started, please be sure to subscribe and hit the like button down below, thank you. Also, special shout out to my friend Pigeon for bringing this article to my attention. This news leads to a bunch of speculation on what Mega Evolutions we could be getting. Some may even be announced very soon. With Pokemon Day just around the corner, some Pokemon Legends ZA news may just be announced soon. It may only be a brief part of the Pokemon Day Presents, but at least it's something. The Pokemon community is starving right now. According to the PokeBeach article written by Water Pokemon Master, we tend to see Pokemon trademarking the names of their upcoming sets around 6 to 8 months prior to the release of said set. With that in mind, it's entirely possible that some new announcements, maybe even an official trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA is just around the corner. And what I mean by an official trailer is hopefully some gameplay. It is important to note that PokeBeach mentions how new Pokemon set names can be trademarked out of order, which could in turn make the release of Pokemon Legends ZA that little bit further away than we would all like. But let's get into the terms that they've trademarked. The term Mega Brave could be a bunch of things. It could be a reference to a specific Pokemon which has a background and lore of being brave or courageous. It could be referring to a new evolution, for example, which would then gain the fighting type. A fighting type evolution would be insane. Or the word brave could literally be the Pokemon Company trying to throw us off entirely with a TCG set name that is loosely synonymous with a specific Pokemon. The reason I bring up evolutions is because of the recent set Prismatic evolutions. With a heavy push on Eevee and its evolutions, it could be slowly foreshadowing what's to come. However, a fan theory that I saw on Reddit was that Pokemon Brave could be a reference to the Swords of Justice trio Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion. The trio have been mentioned to be from a different region to Unova in which they debuted in, and their lore being based on the Three Musketeers really does help this case, as the Three Musketeers is a French novel based in real-world France, which Kalos is actually based on itself. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have given a lot of love to this trio by giving them future Paradox forms, Cobalion being the obvious inspiration for Iron Crown, Terrakion with Iron Boulder, and Virizion with Iron Leaves. It would be somewhat safe to say that giving these three another form the generation after would be slightly overkill. That's why I believe that Keldeo, the quote-unquote fourth member of the Swords of Justice, probably has the best shout for receiving a Mega Evolution. It would be strange to have non-Kalos Pokemon as the mascots for the brand new Pokemon TCG set, but as of now, this is most likely the best guess that the community can come up with. I myself really like this idea. With the Swords of Justice not actually being from Unova and originally from Kalos, it would make total sense within the Pokemon timeline. Keldeo is a Pokemon that has received a lot of hate throughout the community, so giving it a Mega Evolution to maybe try and boost its appeal would be insanely cool to see. Mega Symphonia, however, is slightly harder. The word Symphonia has multiple meanings, but to keep it at its simplest definition, it means a symphony of sound from multiple instruments being played. If we were to confirm that Mega Brave is referring to Keldeo, who is a mythical Pokemon, it would then be safe to assume that Mega Symphonia is also referring to another mythical Pokemon. If we go by that logic, we do have one particular mythical Pokemon tied to the theme of music, which was also introduced to us within the same generation as Keldeo. Meloetta. Meloetta's design is quite clearly based on sheet music, and has the signature move Relic Song. A heavy musical influence went into this Pokemon, and although there are many Pokemon that exist that do have musical motifs added to their design and or lore, Meloetta just seems like the clear choice here. Sorry, Cricketune, but I can't see you getting the spotlight anytime soon, buddy. On a side note, one thing that has been popping out to me whilst exploring this topic, and just in recent months in general, is the heavy push on Unova. For those of you unaware, Pokemon has recently announced a TCG set called Journey Together, which features a very familiar character from the Pokemon franchise, that of course being N and his trusty sidekick Zoroark. Now, N is a prominent figure throughout the Generation 5 games, more so in Pokemon Black and White as opposed to their sequels. Now, with the confirmation of these new trademarks and making the assumption that the mascots for the sets will be Keldeo and Meloetta, it's looking promising for Generation 5 fans. I want to delve deeper into this on my next video, so if you're a big fan of the Generation 5 games, please be sure to stick around. So what do you make of all this trademarking business? It sure does leave more questions than answers. We've been waiting for any form of Pokemon Legends ZA news for the longest time now, but trust me, patience is a virtue. I have a strong feeling that we'll be getting some sort of news very, very soon, and this news about trademarking makes me believe there could be something late February, early March. Fingers crossed, boys and girls. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a like and why not subscribe if you haven't already. If you do, you may get a little hug from Mimikyu.